gentlemen, this is Majesty Christian Television Network, and we are here live in the studio of Majesty TV, all the way from Amsterdam, the Netherlands, and we are here for a good purpose. If you look in the crowd, you will see that we have seasoned Nigerians community here who have gathered and they want to air their view concerning the upcoming election. So, as we know that elections have always been breeding a sort of unhealthy grounds in Nigeria, and especially in this coming election, it's like people are so afraid. Even I heard yesterday when I was discussing with somebody that some who are living in the north are beginning to travel back to the east. And we don't really know why this fear of this upcoming election is this way. We don't really know what has gone wrong. So the Nigerian community in Amsterdam, those who are also diasporas, want to air their view by way of counseling, by way of advising, and by way of, discussing issues the way they're supposed to be, with the purpose of making a change, with the purpose of impacting somebody out there, and with the purpose of helping to correct whatever has gone wrong. So help me this evening to welcome the Nigerian community in the Netherlands. Please, can you say hello to Majesty TV viewers?
Hello, viewers.
Yes. I may not have time to introduce all of you one by one, but those who are watching us, among us today are some chiefs and some Ozos. We have Ozos here. They are community leaders and community builders and businessmen and seasoned Nigerians. So they are here to deliberate about the upcoming election. So I want to ask us, what are our expectations as we all are preparing right now for the upcoming election in Nigeria? What are some of the expectations that we are having? So the floor is open, please.
Okay.
Do we discuss our expectations, or do we first analyze the problems? Some of the problems that are really happening around us now. Because in Facebook, I saw where they just killed an honorable member and they brought him out and littered his body just on the street. So why must our election seasons be very brutal? Why?
Yeah, because everybody wants to be part of the system.
Something on the screen.
Yeah, so first and foremost, my name is Chief Kirian Abodike. I'm a business consultant. And I'm interested in this discussion because it affects Nigeria. And we cannot be here when Nigeria is not going well. Like you rightly said, there's a lot of things going wrong in Nigeria. Even, for instance, this afternoon, the election has been shifted. Yeah, but the rumor is very high that the election is shifting till 28th of March.
Wow.
So, because the National Security Advisor is asking the NEC to do so, to give 6 weeks grace, so that they will be able to arrange the security. So maybe after the meeting of the INEC commissioners this afternoon, maybe they will follow that advice, or maybe they will insist that the election will hold. But when they say the election will hold, then there's no guarantee of security. So this is one thing that happens in Nigeria that I don't know why, because for over 1 year, they have been planning this election. So they cannot come back at the last minute and tell us that they are shifting the election. election would have held. Let us hold the election no matter how, and we see what will happen out of it. But now it is shifted. So we have a lot of issues. We have this issue of this election. We have issue of Boko Haram. We have issue of PVC, which they have not given out. They say about 34% or 30-something percent have not received their PVC. So these are the issues that need to be addressed. So, and if they are shifting it, really, it is okay if they shift the election to enable those who have not received their PVC to receive it, but not because of Boko Haram. Let it be because they don't want to disenfranchise anybody in the coming election, that they need everybody to have their PVC to vote. So, but if they are talking about Boko Haram, that the reason is Boko Haram, for me as a person, I think Boko Haram has overgrown the stage. They will use 6 weeks to curtail. So it's not a reason, unless after 6 weeks they will give us another 6 weeks again. But let another person come in because we have so many here.
Yeah, what she asked you is not what you answer. She asked you, why is it every time there is an election in Nigeria, it must be brutal?
Yeah.
Is what she asked you.
Okay. He didn't ask you.
Okay.
It was just something.
He asked every one of us.
Well,
He asked me. He asked every one of us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, you can answer it.
Can I continue?
Yes, you can,
Yes.
please.
Okay. Can I continue?
I'm
Okay.
moderating it.
Yes. Okay. My name is Okoro Obase Anthony. I'm a security consultant. Well, the issue of violence he's talking about in the Nigeria setup, these are things that is coming from the political parties. In the sense, because like I remember I said sometime in one of the interviews, that what we need in Nigeria for now is a kind of enlightenment campaign. Enlightenment campaign in the sense that some of the people, the hoodlums that go about to destroy, to cause this havoc in the name of their political godfathers or so on and so forth, they don't actually know what they are doing. Only that when they are given some little money or whatever, promise some certain things. I think that is almost the way, that was the birth of the Boko Haram issue. It's this kind of trying to use the talks, the youth, to create fear, to instigate fear, to intimidate opponent. But at the point when the election was over, then these people were nowhere to be, fixed into the system by way of employment. Now they took to the street. Yes. They took arm everywhere. Now, I think, or my suggestion, like I said, is enlightenment. Enlightenment. The problem lies down on the political parties, because they are not seeing this politics of a thing like, look, even if I don't win, it doesn't really matter, but I just want a situation where my country will be okay. But it is that since it is not my brother that is going to win, the other person is not fit to be in office.
Yes.
So I think that is the political mayhem that is coming up is man-made.
Okay. All right.
It's man-made.
So you are saying that we need enlightenment.
Enlightenment.
Okay. All right. Yes, Mr.
Thank
James.
you very much. I think the ones that have spoken have,
Please increase your volume.
they have said so much. First of all, my name is Emeka James Ekinekauma.
Yes.
I'm a businessman. The problem in the radicality during election is not something that started today. Even during the early 80s, it has been there. And the issue of Boko Haram can never be an excuse of postponing election, though it's still unconfirmed. If they are trying to discuss it, if it will be postponed, But the truth remains, even those hoodlums, even those political thugs are being sent by our politicians. They don't just go on their own to destroy things.
Yes.
They are being sent. So the only thing is to create an awareness of the youth. Because if you are afraid of whom you are sending there, then why send him? If you don't believe on the man you are sending there to go and represent you, then why sending him? You know, political thuggery have been there for a long time. But the only thing, like the last speaker said, is creating awareness to the youths, mostly to the youths, letting them understand that violence can never take us anywhere. Now, they may be using those violence as an excuse of postponing this election. And at last, from now till March, you will hear how many billions that they have spent. If they cannot curtail the security situation of the country since over a year they are planning this election, do you think it's under these few weeks that they will curtail it? They cannot.
Okay, thank you so much. Yes, Ken.
My name is Kenneth Okori.
Please, can you give water to the lady, because that's why I'm just yes.
The issue of postponing the election of next week
It's still unconfirmed.
is unconfirmed, but I do not think it's a good idea. Because before I start coming out, I looked at Ben and IET to see if there is any news, but there is no news not yet confirmed. But looking at it, the insecurity will still continue. The longer it takes, the more insecurity the country becomes. So if I'm to suggest, there is no need to postpone this election. Let it happen next week, and then it will see how it's going to take us, because now the next 6 weeks that they want to put it is still more deaths, more riots, more vandalism will still continue in the country. Like somebody said, you said it, that people are traveling from north back to east. Yes, because nobody, even the people I spoke to, nobody wants to be outside his town while this election is taking place. Everybody wants to go home. So the earlier it happens, the better. And secondly,
why do they want to go home? Because that has to be the question.
because of the insecurity of people are using it against tribal issues, instead of talking about on the political and the policies. Because I was in Nigeria, there is none of the politicians who come and defend this policy. Nobody ever said, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to do. They are not talking about it. So that is the whole issue. So if it's, whatever the situation of Nigeria is going to be, when we have the election next week is going to be, if we postpone it till 6 weeks coming, it's going to be more worse. So it's better we have it now, and then we see, and then from there we take it up.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr.
Yeah.
Ken. Yes.
Okay, my name is Philip Ofo. I'm happy that all the people are here from the same tribe. The history of 1964-65 is trying to repeat itself in Nigeria now. The country is not one country. We are wasting our time. You see that since as a Christian Southerner is a president of Nigeria, you see what is happening.
Is that an insinuation, or are you just insinuating that?
Not that I'm not no. I'm telling you the truth. It's what is happening. There is terrorists everywhere, bombing, destroying life of people. So Nigeria is not one country. It's better, let us tell ourselves the truth, than wasting time, wasting life of people for nothing.
What do you suggest?
I suggest let the country disintegrate.
Okay, I'm not part of it.
Let us separate it amicably, peacefully.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Anyway, it becomes difficult when people.
Yeah.
Please, it becomes difficult when people start to beat around the bush.
Yeah.
That's the problem. People get married, they divorce. That's the reason why they divorced. even though you may say, why do you do this? You know, you could have done it this way. You shouldn't divorce. You know, this and that. But there's a reason, and that's how it is. So there are irreconcilable. There are differences you cannot reconcile. So what I'm trying to say here is that what the last speaker said was the right thing. The best solution for Nigeria is for people to go their ways, separate ways, to avoid further bloodshed. This has been on. There are differences, you know, Nigeria, it's not today Nigeria started to exist. And then it's not today that certain parts of the country decided to annihilate others, kill others.
So, but if we are going to go, if we are going to go differently, as you are saying, is it gonna be now? Is it because I think there must be some preparation before people will now say we are going away. You don't just get up and then let me just say, please, let me speak. We don't just get up and we say we are just going our ways because I mean it's going to cost a lot.
No. Those times, you see, the opportunity has been blown by the current president. Jonathan conducted a conference before this election. What went there? Nothing. Jamboree, where people came, they were paid a lot of millions just to bribe them to say, I'm in one Nigeria. This is the truth.
Please, can I ask one question? Please?
Yeah, ask me.
Yes.
No. It's not asking you.
Because when we talk about problems in Nigeria that we should disintegrate or whatsoever, the simple question I want to ask is this. Do you think there are no Yorubas and Igbos among the Boko Harams?
How do I know?
How
do I know?
Okay, that is okay.
How do I know?
Can I say something?
Was found as
That is before we start
Boko
talking
Haram.
about disintegrated.
Somebody from
Ask ourselves a
South.
question.
Okay.
The main mention of General Ihejika, is that not an Igbo person? Sponsoring Boko Haram.
That is just
That
one is just speculation.
So you see, with due respect, at this moment, as we are here now, like the moderator said, what we are here now is the eve of the Nigerian election. If the topic of separation of the Igbo will be discussed, I think it should be in another forum where there is a need for. But for now, what we are talking is about the election that is coming up. So focusing it, we know or we think maybe the next 50 years or 100 years Nigeria might defy, but that's not what issue we're talking about. Yeah. What is the issue now is this: what do we do? Exactly. How do we convey our information, our own knowledge to maintain? Because if we are not there, we have families there.
Yeah, exactly.
We have people there so that we can find a way to get to them, because little by little can make a difference.
Yes, exactly.
What
Because we cannot undermine the power of the media. We can't undermine
your leadership.
There are people who have not spoken, like Mr. Tony Oka. Please, can you speak?
Before I start, my name is Anthony Okechukwoka, for the President of the Union of Netherlands. Just as the topic we are saying, to come support what my brother Kenneth Okore says. Number one, the politicians that we do elect or do come out, most of us have not asked them question or demand what we send them, what are they doing. I'm a Nigerian. Since I came to Europe, I used to go to Nigeria. I see that we celebrate these politicians. Sometimes we will give them our vote to go there. At the end, we don't ask them, what are you doing there?
Yes.
They don't represent our interest. Coming to your question now, what can we continue in this very way? Since 1964, as our brother pointed out from the beginning, there has been crisis.
Yeah.
I don't think we can continue, but until we point out what is the problem we are facing in Nigeria,
Exactly.
before we can diagnose it. Why I'm saying this is that some people think, personally, I don't think that is the problem of this integrity is the problem. I think that we have one common thing, which is corruption.
That's it.
Until corruption is being dealt with in Nigeria, then an Igbo man, an Hausa man, or Yoruba man will not see themselves as one. For example, these politicians, they are liars.
Yes.
Among themselves, they are intermarriage.
Say it loud.
They are friends. But between the normal people, we see they put us together as if Igbo and Yoruba, they are enemies. That Hausa and Igbo, they are enemies. Number one, we are in the global world.
Yes.
We see China. The impact China is making in the world today is because of their population. We all know that Japan is too much in technology.
Yes.
But as of today, China is going very high. Look at India. And in Africa, it's only our population
Yes.
we make impact. I think that if we as a country can come together, as my brother said, the policies is very, very important.
Yes.
If a Hausa man do something that is bad, treat him with the constitution of Nigeria.
Yes.
If Igbo man or any tribe, because we talk about Hausa and Igbo and Yoruba, what of other tribes? Are they not corrupt? What have they done for their people?
Yeah, because
So
if we
until
yes.
this thing is being treated very normal.
Yes.
So personally, I think it's not a time of thinking about separation, or because as Igbo people, as Igbo man, we have invested much outside.
Yes.
I mean, as long as Nigerian territory is concerned. And we know that the only thing that can win the peace in Nigeria is that fighting against corruption.
Yes.
The situation or condition.
In
Nigeria
other words,
passing
what you are
today-
saying to us is that even if we separated and we are still corrupt,
Corrupt.
it's not going to work.
For example,
Because this corruption is not only about the Yorubas
for
or the
example,
Hausas.
from our areas, the delegates, your senators, or our politicians,
Can I
our
come?
governors, what have they done for us?
Can I come in?
Yeah, let him come in. He has not
Okay.
spoken. Tell us who you are.
I am Magnus Iwa, a businessman. What I'm trying to say on the security of Nigeria is that Nigeria, what we are doing on our security is what we inherited when we got democracy in Nigeria. Godfather. That is what I see as a problem of security in Nigeria. Because if somebody sends you to do something, you go do it, come back, give him the report. Because the upcoming election or the elections we've been doing in Nigeria, there is no election we are doing normal. Because those people, are our people there, the senators, governors, and the presidents, they do come to Europe.
Yes.
They know what is democracy, but they don't participate in our own because they know they buy us with money. So when they buy our conscience, then they do what they want, because it's not no more what we want. They do there. They do what they want because they bought our conscience. So what I'm saying there is, this thing happening in Nigeria has happened in many countries. I remember when it was like that in Ghana. Ghana did something, and today you could throw away your purse and somebody will ask you to pick it.
Yes.
So if Nigeria could do the same thing, do it no matter who is concerned.
What do you mean by that? Can you be
What I mean by that is, like
revolution by
yes,
Jerry Rawlings?
yes, that is what we need in Nigeria. We do it, and then people will learn from it. But if it doesn't go that way, then we see Nigerian politics as a club. If you belong to the club, then you get your share. If you don't belong, then you don't get nothing. And that is what is causing the insecurity of Nigeria.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what you asked.
Excuse
Can I?
excuse.
yes,
We have been all
uh,
raising hands all along.
Excuse me, yes, Chief Kyria, please.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. The contribution is going well. The only area I disagree is the one of disintegration. That area I disagree totally, because even if you disintegrate within the Southerners, even if they say the Biafra to go, they cannot. The same thing will happen there. It may be even worse.
More worse.
Yeah, so it will even be worse there. So if anybody is campaigning for disintegration, we should not campaign for that, but we see how Nigeria can unite. Yeah. Together we can be a force. Like my brother talked about China and others, it's because of their number. Because of their size. That is why they are globalizing. They are the leading in economic this thing. And today, about the globalization, Nigeria is a market, a new a market people are interested to come into. So if we disintegrate, that means we are losing those market. So what I am trying to say now is about the election that is coming up, the security. I'm very happy that the federal government last week said that all the schools should be open until after the election. They should not, no school should close because the students have been used, they are being used for thuggery.
Yes.
And today, because the school is in session, the thuggery is minimal. So what I'm just talking is that let the youth understand that these people that are using them for thuggery,
Yeah.
they are still friends. Like my brother said, they intermarry. Their children, they are schooling abroad. They are all together, playing together. But when they come, they give us that idea that they are quarreling. There's nothing there. So we should take it, let us understand the politics. Vote for the right person. If you look at the election manifesto, and you see that the Buhari's manifesto is better, you vote for him. If you feel that Jonathan is better, you vote for him. But the only area I am saying is that the election, this coming election, is more than Buhari as a person and Jonathan as a person. It's about APC and PDP. So that is the area we have to look at. And when we are looking at it, we have to consider certain things, like corruptions. Who are corrupt people? I feel that every Nigerian is corrupt, but there are some people that are more corrupt than others. And if you come to APC, like I said on radio last week, if you remove Buhari from APC, there's no other person in that APC. There's no other person there. They are all this thing. But if you come to PDP, if you remove Jonathan, at least you can see the economic team like Konjiwala, them, those people that are managing the economy. So you see that people are there. So, but I'm not campaigning for any of the two. So the only thing is check your own conscience, see who is better, and then you vote for the person. But let us avoid violence. Like any violence, anybody who is killed, it cannot come back again. So we let us avoid violence and look at it from what they have to provide for the people. That is mine.
Yes, so we just want to welcome Mr. Jerry, Pastor Jerry, please. I'm sorry, Pastor Jerry Suleiman and Pastor Roland. Welcome to this forum. Yes, right. We are discussing on the upcoming election and what are some of the problems Nigeria have been facing since 1964.
1960. Since 1960.
Yeah. So I want Mr. Unebu wants to say something.
Okay. Well, my name is Unebu, Majesty, businessman. So last time when I was in the program, I said something about we are Nigerians, and this is our story. This is our history. It's what we know. So it makes me angry when we Nigerians are talking about Nigeria as if we don't exactly know what is happening here. This election, if they want to postpone it, is because of threat. The threat is coming left and right.
Yes.
The threat from the president, that is Goodluck Jonathan, and the threat from the other side, Buhari. And what is the grassroots of all this threat? Is tribal and religious. Nigeria is not Ghana. Nigeria is not Senegal. When you go to Ghana, the Muslim and the Christian, they can live together.
Yes.
They can eat in the same plate. The Hausa Muslim and the Yoruba Muslim are not the same. The Yoruba Muslim, you can live with them. But Nigeria is a democratic country. How can you practice Sharia inside the democracy? Okay. But it's been happening in Nigeria. And when we come here, we say, this is good, this is good. But all of them, no one is good. No one is going to do good for us. And the problem is religion and the tribal.
Tribalism.
There is no how you can remove it and start saying Nigeria. If we want to tell ourselves truth, Nigeria is not one and can never be one.
Thank you,
the problem is not this election. After the election, the problem will continue. People want to make problem, but they are looking for avenue. Before the election, there is Boko Haram. After the election, there will be another thing.
Yes.
Whether good people are threatening from Buhari's side, how can you bring a candidate for democratic election? Before the election, you are threatening that if this man doesn't win, we burn the country.
It's terrible.
And the two candidates are saying from the other side of Ijo, good luck side, he said if the good luck don't, they put the country on fire.
Yes.
Then why not we put the country on fire and go our way
Very good, my dear.
before the election?
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
No, I don't think that's the right thing. Because
Let
we
me-
have-
This is right.
Let-
Why
what
not
is
allow
right?
us to talk?
No, no,
Let
no,
me
no.
allow me to talk now.
You allow everybody to talk the same thing.
Allow
You don't
me
want
to
us
talk.
to talk.
No, you have to talk.
Allow me
This
to
man,
talk.
Every time, talk. The
Allow
same
me
people,
to talk.
The people on the opposition don't talk
No,
about it.
sir. No, sir. It's not that way.
What is this?
No,
Somebody is moderating.
Stop interruption.
Somebody is
No,
Somebody
that's
has been raising
Somebody is
hand.
moderating.
Raising hands.
Raising hand more than half an hour. Other people are talking.
Mr. Phillips.
Yeah.
Is that Mr.
Philip,
Yes.
you're
Mr.
right.
Phillips, please, can you speak?
Okay, what I want to say is
I want
that
to correct something here.
Okay.
I'm not biased at all.
no,
Also, I'm
nobody is
just saying
accusing
as
you
much
of
as-
that.
yeah,
Nobody is
because-
accusing you.
Because if it is Biafra, don't forget, I'm from Abia State.
I know.
Nobody's talking about that.
Nobody is talking about
We're
that.
talking about Nigeria. That's why I'm
You
here.
know,
Yeah,
what-
no,
what-
I want to counteract what you are saying
Okay.
because you said people are raising hands.
Yeah,
and
because
I'm not. No.
people say the same
We are
thing.
going one by
What
one
you-
because he has not spoken. That's why you spoke now.
Yeah. What
So,
you ask is
permit
that.
us.
What you ask is why is it brutal? Anytime Nigeria want to do election, Jonathan is campaigning in the north. There we are throwing stone on him, calling him Arena. But Buhari go to Bayelsa, they lay red carpet for him. How can you mingle with these people? We are just wasting our time.
Yeah, yeah.
Nigeria is the only union that is forced together by Britain, still remain, and is in a patchy condition.
Favoring the politicians. And then we
So
think
why we should continue living in this condition
forever.
forever?
Talking about Nigeria.
Talking about Nigeria.
Going to the moon.
If
when
we
there is
want
no
to
visibility.
split Nigeria, is it not that we will
Instead of,
systematically? Is it
instead-
not that we will systematically? It's not just that you just come to them and
Yes.
split Nigeria. Because if you do that, there will be bloodshed. There will be bloodshed, and that wouldn't be very nice.
I am
for
suggesting
some of
if
us whose families
listen,
are down there.
I am suggesting if instead of this election, let them conduct a referendum. Whether people will come and say we want to still remain in this
Yes or no?
this
people's
country
choice.
or no,
sit
it's
down
people's choice.
And then secondly, don't forget that many countries separated peacefully. We don't have to tie violence on our separation. It can be done peacefully. If Jonathan had done it when they called a national conference, it would have been an easy walkover.
All right,
if
sir.
people were allowed to say
We
their
have heard
mind.
you. Now, Brother King, please, can you speak? After him, then Ogatoni.
The whole issue is this. There is something about Nigerian politics that I do not like. There is something about Nigerian politics that I do not like. All of us are living here in the Western world. You see somebody who have been into politics, even if you lose, you go to opposition and stay in the house and learn and wait for your turn. Nigeria is the opposite. As long as you get your money, he wants to be the president, he wants to be that, he wants to be that. That's the culture, the political culture we find a way to correct. I know it's going to be a long way. Secondly, Chief Abo said that after Buhari, the APC does not have anybody. That I do not agree. Because the issue now Buhari is having, because personally Buhari is almost 80 years. He has been there before. I do not know what he's going there to do. If APC are putting somebody like Fashola, a young guy, who have proven need to do that in Lagos, you see, maybe we could have been having another discussion now. Who is the right person to lead Nigeria? Because of his experience. Another thing I want to add is about all of us. You know, we have an issue at hand, the election. If Nigeria wants to be divided, I'm telling you people, we have been into the war. And I do not see us going back to the war again, because the trauma is still what we are suffering. Then it is for us and for the politicians representing us to start instructing them, start doing their housework. You go it by diplomacy. Czech and Slovakia, they're separated. How come diplomacy? Because if the Igbos, let me use the word the Igbos, or the Southerners, if we were connected or unified as one body, there could have been opportunity for us to get this independence on our own. But because we are not united, because when you look, all these things that are happening now, if the Igbos or the say Biafra, that we have people that's really going there for the interest of us.
Yes, that's the point.
They could have been something now by lobbying, this is our move, this is our move. But anybody you put there is going there for the selfish interest.
Yes.
As long as we do not change that mentality of selfish, the interest, we cannot say we go, who are, okay, now Biafra is here. Who is going to be the leader? Is it from Imo State, or from Anambra, or from Enugu, or from Abia?
Yes.
The same problem is still going to exist.
Exactly.
You get land before you start looking for the map.
Allow him to come down.
Sir,
Others will
yes.
contribute.
So, can I go?
Yes, you can.
Okay, let us take this matter one by one. I believe that what we are here, we are talking something about Nigerian election proper, what is upcoming. I think the issue of separation or no separation, the disintegration, I don't think is something that has to be done maybe overnight or at the eve of the election.
Yeah.
It is something that has to take its own root cause somewhere. And apart from that, having said this, we have some other prominent Igbo leaders, both men and women, who is their duty to say this is what we want. We have not heard from such a people. So I think the issue of disintegration or not should be a little bit the other way around. Yeah, out of the question for now. And secondly, you ask questions. Sometimes we are deviating from the original question which you asked us here.
Yes.
You ask, why are we having the exodus of the Southerners going back to the South at the end of the election? And then we left that question and start talking about disintegration or something like that. Well, I can say from the little experience I have about it that majority of these people who are living in the North, they registered their vote at their home base during the time of the registration.
Yeah.
So during the time of this election proper, it is mandatory they have to go back to where you register. So I don't know where some people are getting the notion that maybe people are running away. No, I'm coming.
Somebody is not to buy into the point you are making, because I don't know why somebody will live in Kanu and then the person wouldn't register there. He has to go all the way to the east.
But that was after.
Because I feel
It
that
was.
people are running because of
It was. It's the truth. Wait.
When that is
Wait. I am
When
coming.
he finishes
You
case,
come
make
and
your own
you help
case.
me. I don't need
And
help
then ask
from
the
anybody.
doctor.
So what I'm saying is that I know proper, for example, I know when I was in Nigeria, I went to go and register. I was in Lagos.
Yeah.
Then they said, no, where am I going to, where is my address in Lagos? I said, no, I'm staying with my people there. I'm not living in Lagos. I said, no, I have to go down to the east, where, and which I did. I did my registration in the east, you know, and I got my card. So, and secondly, the issue of postponement or not postponement, I think when the national security advisor of a country is giving his own advice, say, listen, I am not going to cover you security-wise. You are going to vote. People are mingling around, coming to snatch the ballot boxes or so, and there's no policeman, there's no SS man, there's no army, because they were all in Boronu or wherever, waiting for going to tackle Boko Haram. So why don't we look at things, you know, in the perspective of the people who are in charge, who want to know? It is not the election is not just something you wake up. We want to go and put our election, and then when there's violence there, they say, "Oh, the president did not do that." Will the president come and stay at the telephone and tell a booth? No. That is why I have a security advisor.
So what you are saying to those who are listening to us right now is that one of the problems has to do with security.
Security.
But you are a security officer, and you are also a security.
So this is how to do with the security. I wouldn't know if America is going to war wherever they ask their people, no, it's not good for a president to visit. You say no, he must come there.
Let me give room to Pastor
so.
Jerry. You've been following this discussion so far since you entered. What do you have to say regarding to why this migration. People are leaving the north and they are now moving to the south because they are afraid of violence during this election.
Well, thank you for having me on your show. I believe what my brothers have just said is part of the truth.
What is the truth?
Okay, it's part of the reason. You know, if you, I had been in Nigeria on 1 or 2 occasions, whereby in the previous election exercise, whereby you have to register where you are legally resident.
Okay.
Because if they have to send you letter, for instance, if you haven't got a stable address, if you have to, you have to also some kind of a tax papers which you have to provide. So if you are not resident, you could be living in Kano State, working there, trading there, but if you do not consider Kano State as your place of for electoral purpose, you have to go back to your state. That is could be one of the reasons why the people are moving from. And again, you also have to remember another thing that I believe could be a reason for that is that the people have more confidence if they vote in their own state, that their ballot will not be snatched. Because you could vote. You know, we've had incidents in the previous Nigeria elections whereby after you went somewhere and cast your ballot, you saw the number of people that came to cast the ballot, and at the end of the day, they will say it's only 5,000 people.
Okay.
So that is the reason why
you are going back to.
That is what I believe is that. And you know that the election, by the way, has been postponed.
That's what we are
confirmed.
I called the Nigerian and they told me.
For 6 weeks. Thank you so much. Thank you. Pastor Ron, do you have anything to say before we move on or take a short break?
I think I'm in support of what the team.
Can you introduce yourself, sir?
Oh, I'm Roland Adibi. I'm in support of what Pastor Jerry just said. Where you live, where you have your address, is where you must go and vote.
Yes.
As simple as that.
And that's what the Nigerian law says.
Yes,
All right.
yes.
Electoral law.
Exactly.
Good.
Okay, thank you so much. Yes,
please, I want to point out something there. Let us just say things the way it's supposed to be. The question was, why are people going back home? If we are to face the truth, election did not start today in Nigeria. And electoral violence did not start today in Nigeria. People are running. They are not going home because of voting. Because majority of people are running because of the violence, just for security purpose. Like Mr. Tony said before, that the best way to tackle it is to create awareness. If a good awareness is being created, there will be less election violence. Then people will not have any reason to run during election.
Are you saying all of these years we've not been creating awareness? Because for me as well, I don't even understand what that is.
They have been creating awareness, but the awareness is not creating awareness is in a way that they will understand that violence is not the best way.
And giving me money is
and
not
giving
the
me
best
money
way. It's not the best
for me to kill, for me to burn houses, burn cars, for me to snatch ballot boxes is not the solution.
Yes, exactly.
These people do it for their own selfish interest. Tomorrow they will forget you. Tomorrow they will use the word touts for you who are doing it. Those are the issues we need to address. Let's not paint it.
And the reason why they are the security advisor is saying let us postpone the election is because of this insecurity.
Yeah.
People feel insecure where they are living.
Yeah.
So the people are moving from north to the south because they feel insecure. And then the National Security Advisor suggested to the INEC chairman,
Yeah.
that it's better to postpone this election
Yes.
so that the people will be sensitized within now and 6 weeks. So even those who ran away will be able to go back and vote where they're supposed to vote. So it is the 6 weeks is a gap to make sure that people, this education or sensitization is done, so that people will now understand the importance of going back where you are staying originally. You shouldn't run away wherever you are. Wherever you register for election, don't run. Stay there and vote. But then, what the National Security Advisor is saying that I cannot provide security if you happen to hold that election now, because the violence will be too much for us to carry, to contend, because the military are in the northeast fighting the Boko Haram. We are only using the police and the DSS. So now, give us time to do it. So that's where I support, if they can postpone it for 6 weeks, let us see. But let these 6 weeks not be for a waste. Let there be an education, enlightenment between now and that 6 weeks, so that people will be able to vote. And the PVC, let them make sure they share it within the 6 weeks.
But the question is, will there always be violence? Will there always be violence
in the election?
In election? Is it that we are not? Is it that we are not developed enough to be able to conduct a fair and just election?
But that is where
for
the
all
issue.
of these years.
That is where the issue of the enlightenment I was saying
The
about.
enlightenment is the only way to get people know what is going on.
So like, where is the violence coming from? From the south or
from the north?
Everywhere.
What are you
It's everywhere. It's everywhere. Election violence is everywhere.
There's no south or north.
It's not everywhere.
As long as electoral violence is concerned, there is
It's not everywhere.
Because even in the south, you also see that people are violent over there.
Everywhere. It's not about north or south. It's Nigeria.
Can I come in here?
Certainly, we're gonna take a break so that we can, ease ourselves and then continue on this discussion.
So what I like to say here is this: sometimes all of us here, we talk sometimes like the politicians ourselves, but I don't know if we are. But I want to make a point here. We know Nigeria have a problem, and we have to identify it. Going home to register or not going home to register is not an issue. We have a security issue, and that security issue started with the issue of Boko Haram, especially in the north. And now, I can tell you, I have somebody working for the ENEC. The story I'm getting from them is totally different from what we are talking here. Even Lagos, let me use the word, the Igbos who registered in Lagos where they live in. You register in this address, they will ask you to go and vote almost about 30 kilometers further. And then you know that way, moving might be a problem. Yes. So we know we have a problem, issues, security issues, corruption issues in Nigeria. Yeah. We should address it. And secondly, one of the reasons of the postponement might be the president of the INEC made a stupid statement. And then he's also causing a lot of issues. Yeah, I'm coming. He's also causing a lot of issues that some people are asking him to resign. Because he said that no matter whoever that wins, even if Jonathan wins, that he's going to pronounce Buhari as the winner. Now, when you watch the news, excuse me, watch the news, go and watch Ben. They are asking him to resign. He fails to resign. Even okay, then go back, go to your net, you're going to read about it, because I was prepared before coming here.
How can he be so corrupt
to
say that?
That is why, okay, what is the reason why they are asking him to resign? There is not a call for him to resign.
Is that a direct statement or a speculation?
A statement he made. It was being debated.
They asked him to resign.
He can never make such
statement. I'm telling you now, this is...
He cannot.
It's a
speculation. I'm not defending him.
It's a speculation. He cannot.
But then the question, I'm giving everybody an assignment. Go back, read check your mail and check your net and find
No,
out.
look, you can get
Forward
any
the-
junk something from
the junk.
on internet.
The junk can come anywhere.
So what we are trying to say, let us know. This is
Well, we are going to take a short break.
I am
right
not.
now.
Yeah.
Of course, we're not holding brief for him, but I know
Take charge.
as the internet person, he cannot, and they will never make such a statement.
Gentlemen, we are just having one meeting here, so we are going to take short break, and I believe it's going very far. You know, the good thing is that media can make a difference. So
Yes.
whatever we are saying is being watched all over the world now. So you never can know how far this can go. So when you are speaking, speak tangibly.
Yes.
Let us not be biased, because we are building Nigeria and will continue to build Nigeria. So if there will be a time to split, let it be that it will come naturally, not just that it has to come.
This is the natural time. This is the natural time.
It's not time that it
So,
Whether you like it or
for
not.
the
One is
meantime,
natural
those of you who are watching us,
Which time is natural?